Wall Street banks, meanwhile, warning the economy could be in for some serious trouble, and that could happen very soon. Goldman Sachs predicting the risk of a recession could be as much as 35% within the next 2 years. Let's bring in Art Laffer, former economic advisor to President Ronald Reagan. Art, great to have you here. Unfortunately, it's sort of a doom and gloom talk when it comes to what happens next with the U.S. economy. Things were speeding along there for a while. What could park it?
Well, the inflation could easily park it, Sandra. I mean, this inflation is picking up at an ever-increasing rate. Real wages are declining dramatically. If you look at capital gains, which are just illusory just because of inflation, they're taxed at the ordinary capital gains tax rates. All of those will add a lot of pressure onto the economy. And there's no sign that inflation is slowing down. In fact, if anything, it's going stronger and stronger. So that could lead to a big, sharp downturn in the economy at some time in the future, just the way it did under Ronald Reagan in '81 and '82. To stop inflation, they've got to raise interest rates way above the inflation rate, and that doesn't look like it's going to happen with this Fed, with Powell and the Fed members.
That would be such a delicate balance, one that not many predict the Fed is capable of handling to the point where we can avoid recession. Even Larry Summers, looking back at history and making this statement.
There has never been a moment when inflation was above 4 and unemployment was below 5, when we did not have a recession within the next 2 years. So I think the odds on a hard landing within the next 2 years are certainly better than half, and quite possibly 2/3 or more.
So what does that mean for the average hardworking American? Put that into perspective. If recession does happen, you're talking about multiple quarters of negative GDP growth. What does that mean for American families?
Well, it flips the thing upside down. Today, there's so many job openings, and there are very few people to fill them. Our unemployment rate's really, really low. What it would mean is what Larry Summers said, it was that it would flip, and there'd be all sorts of people unemployed with very few job opportunities left for people to take. And it would be a traditional recession with very high inflation, which is what's called stagflation. No one knows that word anymore, but let me tell you, I lived through it. It's something you don't want to live through. And I think Larry Summers is probably more correct than Goldman Sachs that the chances are greater than 50% that we will have a nice substantive downturn. And they still may not control inflation. I mean, it'll be the worst of all worlds, high inflation and high unemployment.
That is a brutal reality. You talk about real wage growth. You're talking about real wage growth because wages are up, and that's a good thing. But inflation's up so much more that it eats up that wage growth, and hence your comment on that. Here's the inflation cost per U.S. household. I'll put it on the screen. I'll let you jump back in here. But these are just staggering numbers. When you look at the inflation that we are currently living through today and the impact on the American pocketbook, that's an additional, and by some estimates, this could be a low number, $327 per month. That's real pain, Art.
That is real pain. I mean, it's terrible. And when you look at what it took for us to bring inflation down, Paul Volcker especially, when we took office on January 20th, 1981, Sandra, the prime interest rate in the United States was 21.5%. Mortgage rates were 17, 15, 18. Inflation was running at 15, 16%. I mean, it was a very catastrophic type of situation. That's what it takes to bring inflation back under control. And they're not doing that. So this will keep on going until someone gets in there and does something correct.
And we've been talking about,
looks like it's a far way off.
Housing affordability. It's not looking good. And here's the average 30-year fixed rate mortgage. Up, and away it goes. Real quick final thought, Art.
Well, for the final thought, those mortgage rates will drive down, and they'll go up a lot more in the near term. They're just at their lows, right? I mean, it's going to go a lot higher.
Really something to watch. Art Laffer, thank you very much for joining us. And
say hello to Bill for me.
And he's sitting right next to me, and it's funny
hello,
because
Bill.
How are you, brother?
It's funny because Bill and I share office walls, and like one thing we talk about a lot when we come in the morning.
This.
Yeah, we talk about the economy and where things go next.